It's just like standing in a line for an amusement ride. You have 30 seconds. You stood in this line for an hour. This is your prep. That
Mhm.
line is your prep. As soon as you get on that ride, and then whenever you're going down in that highest point, you're right there. As soon as you drop, that's when they take a picture of you, and your hair is just like, but you got this big old smile. You get up there and you actually did it.
Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB Bikini Pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Rains-Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today, we are speaking with a woman whose journey is defined by strength, ambition, and resilience. She not only pushes the limits as a competitor and posing coach, but also an entrepreneur and in her career in luxury and corporate travel. Her roots run deep as a military brat to an Air Force veteran, as well as being married to a Marine for 10 years, which all made her a proud supporter of the military community. While juggling being a single mom of two, running a business, and competing, she strives to inspire others to embrace discipline, determination, and excellence in all that they do. Welcome to the show, Jasmine Vania. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm happy we are doing this today. And I've got to start by asking you what I ask everybody, which is if there's anything you do, think about, or maybe even a ritual you have right before your heel hits the stage.
Um, Before I hit the stage, I usually just start listening to music, any type of like 90s music, and I just start dancing. So people get annoyed with me backstage because I'll just start like, okay, I feel good. This is great. So
Love it.
I try to vibe, and that's what I do before I stage. So
What kind of music?
any type of like, Backstreet Boys. I do a little bit of Mariah Carey, anything that's high pitch and fun.
Love
Um,
it.
so yeah, that's what I'll typically put my headphones in and just start jamming out.
That's awesome. I think it's wonderful. It's funny how you said some people get annoyed, but I think probably like I remember there's some shows where I'll be like, everyone in line wants to talk, and then there's some shows where
Yeah,
it's like everyone's really just like no response.
absolutely.
My most recent show, I was like, okay, we're gonna do it. And no one was responsive. I was like, I'm just gonna turn this way and do my own
And no one responds. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are
Uh,
you guys real?"
I know. I was like, okay, so we're all nervous. It's okay.
Yes. I think it's more of people are focused and they don't wanna break concentration, or they're kind of going
For
through their
sure.
routines. Me, I do go through my routines. If my coach is backstage, he'll, come back and check on me, but usually I'm just kind of, either finding my teammates and trying to stay in together,
Yeah.
or if I'm there alone, I'll just find my corner and then start listening to music and just calming myself, because once you get on stage, it's like flip the switch, you're a whole another person.
So true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. So let's talk about just your overall outlook on what it means to be excellent in all that you do. Since this is something you really want to inspire in others, I'd love to hear in your words, like, what does that actually mean to you?
So and it's my everyday life. Everything that I'm doing with work, going to the gym, raising my kids, and training with them. They come to the gym with me all the time. So
Wow.
yeah, so I do things. I try to do it with grace and give myself grace. Yeah, I don't do things pushing myself over the limit. I can't do that because I also have to function as a mom and go to work and do all these other things. So I give myself time, and if I can't do a show, then I move on to the next one. I just keep pushing things out and giving myself grace, and then making sure if I'm bringing the right package for another show, and consulting with my coach, we definitely try to say like, okay, if you're not ready for this, you're almost there. You're almost there for this. You just need to do take your time. I make sure I take my time, and that makes it easier for you, and you're in the right mind frame.
Oh, 100%. You know what? Actually, I want to dive into that piece further because you don't often hear pros admit to the fact that, like, hey, there's things outside of this that really matter to me. And therefore, like, my all looks different than maybe somebody else or a perceived all.
Mhm.
Because I think a lot of competitors have this misconception that in order to be successful, you have to like sacrifice everything. But
Mhm.
you're saying, hey, if I need to push my show date back because my kids or because I have to prioritize energy elsewhere, then I will. So, can you speak more to how you actually like show up in the gym and how you show up with nutrition, especially while managing these other areas of life?
Yeah. So, for me, I have to meal prep on, my last day of work, which was yesterday. So I work usually Sunday to Thursday, 7:30 to 4 p.m. And then like my last day is when I'm meal shopping, getting all my stuff ready. I use ChatGPT to grocery shop for me.
Love it.
Not even lying. I use everything, and I utilize it with work too, and with my daily life set in my calendars. I have it shop for me. Where's the best sells? Where do I need to go? And then I cook everything, put everything on the grill, or just something. Just I need to go ahead and get everything knocked out, and then I just plan things. And then my kids also are like, "Well, can you meal prep my stuff?" Because they want to have snacks and stuff like that. My kids are 8 and 10, so we have a calendar of what they're going to eat for the week, and it's just a routine that is easy and it's easier to maintain whenever you have structure like that. Um, Everything that I'm eating on my meal plan now is what I would usually eat anyways in my when I'm not in prep. I It's just the food that I like, and I eat pretty clean. So doing that, I can take everything with me. I travel with my food, and whenever I go to different countries, I did a show in the Bahamas. I traveled with all of my meals. I froze everything, put it in my suitcase, my carry-on, because eventually, and then it will start thawing out. So as soon as I get to the hotel, put it in the freezer, find somewhere for it to go, and then it's good. So it's a little bit time consuming, but it's manageable. Once I get off work, me and the kids going to the gym, got 2 hours. We have everybody that's in the gym. They all know, like, hey, my kids are bringing their homework and they go to after school care. So I have a system where, yes, they stay a little bit later at school, but 4 o'clock get picked up. They're already done with their homework. If they're not, we hit it at the gym. We go through everything. So, and then when we get home, boom, 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 dinner, baths, hang out for a little bit, beat it. You got to go to bed. They're on a schedule for the sleep. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything. It's just a day in, day out. You're doing the same thing, but trying to making it fun and changing things up just a little bit.
Love that. Yeah, novelty oftentimes keeps us motivated in many ways. And how old are your kids?
They're 8 and 10. They'll be
Okay,
9 and 11. Yeah.
that's awesome. So, I mean, kids really do thrive off of structure, as I think a lot of us do, but also with the novelty, like you said. And I'm sure that your kids seeing you do this for as long as you have been have probably adopted a lot of like the mentalities and the prioritization. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
wrong, but how have you seen it impact like their health?
So it's interesting that you mentioned that because I am currently, my kids are very different. My son, he's more conscious of, certain things because he's like, oh, well, this isn't we lived in North Carolina, and when I was, you know, when we lived in North Carolina, I made everything from scratch, even from when they were babies. I made their baby food. I and I don't know why I want to do that, but after having like a C-section. So I feel like I didn't actually have the actual, pushing them out naturally. I had two C-sections. So I felt like I wanted to give them healthier food that I could find. Um, because buying stuff that you're buying healthy food, buying healthy baby food, I wanted to make my own baby food for them. So they have seen me make baby food, home pizza. I make my own dough. I make my own bread, spaghetti noodles, and everything. So it's just something that I've always done because I wanted to challenge myself to eating what I want to eat healthy. And then also, like, I don't feel bad for making this pizza or eating this pizza because I made it from cauliflower or I made my own dough. So it's nice to see them think about what they're eating. And also they can splurge and have like ramen noodles if you want to, or we can go and do some other things. But it is I was beating myself up, I think, last year because my daughter, she has gastrointestinal, like she has a little bit of a larger stomach, and we have to make sure that she's eating the right type of food. So that's where she's noticing, like, hey, I can't do this, or I want to eat vegetables tonight, or I just want to have a salad and eat some fish because I'm good. I don't need to eat because I see food. I want to eat because this is where I need to get to not be hungry, and then we're good. A lot of people will overeat after shows or get into so many junk food, the stuff that they haven't had during their prep, and that's what they just go in there and binge eat, and then it ends up hurting their stomach, and you can really mess up yourself
Oh,
for a
for
couple minutes.
sure.
So
Mhm. That's
I try to make sure they understand that too.
Yeah, there's like an importance to moderation and
Mhm.
incorporating these things that are otherwise demonized, but putting them on the same playing field, I think can be helpful because then you're reducing this like fixation on it. And we see that a
Mhm.
lot with competitors. They get off stage and they're like, now I'm going to eat everything. And then they end up not loving the sport because then they feel that they went the complete other way.
Right.
And it's not uncommon. It's something that can be addressed, of course. But I think it's really amazing that you also bring your kids to the gym. So, are they
Mhm.
working out with you or are they watching you work out?
The kids area, is the Roman Athletic Club. They have like a window so they can see where I'm at, and that's where all the leg machines and stuff. So I'll peek my head in. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
make sure you're good. But whenever kids get disruptive, and I'm like, who needs me to come in there? And they're like, me. I'm like, who's in here? Y'all better not be beating up the worker because listen, you're the adult. These are kids. Don't let them run. So they see me and I pop my head in there and I'll hang out with them. But it's good. They love going to the gym, and I try to give them their fun day outside the gym. Like, let's go play outside as soon as we get home. So we do that and sit outside, listen to music, and let them do their scooters and play in the dirt. And then it's chill time. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and you work from 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in addition to
mhm.
being an entrepreneur. So your career is in luxury and corporate travel, right?
Yes,
Okay, so you also just went on a great trip. I would love to
yeah.
hear, like, about your love for travel and how you've landed in this career, if it guided you to travel or if it came like, if the love for travel guided you there.
Right. I I think the love for travel really came about was I'm the youngest of the three of my siblings, and at the end of my dad's career, he I was the last stop, and that was in Nebraska. So that's where I was raised, and my sister, my brother, they got to travel the world. So my parents weren't gonna make a trip with the five of us, that all of us just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go visit the same places. Went to Germany, and my sister was born in England, and all these places. I'm like, you guys, could we go on one of those trips? And so we never did. We would be in the States. So I have this week off, so let's go ahead and hop on a plane. So that's where we went to Paris for spring break. And I never thought I would be able to do this as a single mom and in prep and trying to do this. I'm like, what did when I got to the airport, I was like, what am I thinking? Should we cancel? Because I think I'm over my right now.
How
Because
did you navigate being there while in prep and with the kids?
I was out there, I'm dating a guy, and he was out there for a month, and he's like, just come over here. We went out and saw everything. It was a very local area,
Wow.
and I was very shocked as many people that spoke English, and I can converse with them and still have find out who they are and how they landed here, because a lot of people just came over there and from Italy or from Spain, or from the US. They just moved there, and I'm like, wow, what made you want to move here? And they were just like, it's just a nice place, it's so calm. They have their things, their issues as well, but it's here. Like, I'm like, that's amazing to just uproot yourself and just move somewhere else in another country. So
Oh, for sure.
just getting to know the area was amazing. I'm going back in December.
Oh, that's
By
awesome.
myself. Yes, I want my solo trip now. So I like to do those.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've talked about being a foodie and loving the
Mhm.
outdoors and like all these things that you love outside of competing. And you hear a lot of competitors say that they're a foodie. And also when you travel, part of the experience sometimes is like tasting the culture, in my
Right.
opinion. So that can be more challenging when you're in a prep. Let's be honest. You have to
For
be
sure.
way more mindful. And sometimes you really don't like, the reality is, you don't always get to have the croissant or you don't get to have the famous whatever that they're known for.
Right.
How do you incorporate, like, your love for food with your love and passion for, competing?
So my love of food, I don't do macros. So I've not understood that portion yet. I
Oh,
am I am gonna start doing that a little bit more. But I have my set meal. So this is what I have is what I'm gonna be eating. But while I was over there, I did find it a little challenging, but I also again, like, I travel with some food. So they did have a lot of fresh markets, which I was super, like, I loved it. I loved all of it, and it was
yes.
out there, like, oh, I could see all the food, and of course, like, I tasted the croissant. It was great. It was
Yeah.
absolutely fabulous. I lost weight being over there. Now I don't know if it was because I didn't eat enough or I was walking so much. We walked to the Eiffel Tower, which is an hour from our apartment, with my kids, and they were complaining the entire way.
Oh,
But
sure.
there are stores, everything in between to anywhere. So within 2 hours, I had 10,000 steps. So it was, that was one way. So
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap, this is not what I was expecting. But it was, why not? Um,
exactly.
so traveling with food and knowing that I can try that later. I do tend to go to a place and I don't give myself I can't indulge in it, but I'll go back so I can. Like when I went to Las Vegas and did Amateur Olympia, as soon as I got off stage, I know I wanted to have a steak, but I wanted to go to a really good steakhouse. And that was, I had to.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but it's just like, I just want to taste things. It's just sweet. I don't have a sweet tooth. It's more of, how people cook it and fine dining, and I'm like, okay, so the presentation of things, and I actually wanted to go to get some gelato or something like that. Yeah, I just want to taste, but I don't want to eat the whole thing.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a better experience a lot of the times when you just get to savor it and enjoy
Mhm.
it, but not to the point of like overdoing it,
Yeah,
overeating, making yourself feel gross or sick or not
right.
well. Now, of course, you outlined what your normal day looks like for you, and you had mentioned you use ChatGPT to help you like
Mhm.
manage and set up routines, schedules, meals, groceries. What are some, I think it'd be helpful for people to know like some of those hacks. So, what are some of like the prompts you give ChatGPT to support you?
So with ChatGPT, I normally will just say, like, this is my schedule for work. This is when the kids need. I have a specific time I have to leave the house to drop my kids off in the morning. And then, I just give them my daily work schedule, kids schedule, and then say, plan my day. When I need to also go to the gym, I need to be there at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. An hour and a half is me absolutely pushing everything. No, like 2 minute break, like not even a minute break. Um, cutting down the chit chat. Just it just plans everything. So it's really not too much of prompts. It's just, hey, can you plan my day? Here's what I need to do, and let me know where I need. And I put the addresses in, and it will tell me like, hey, you need to leave by this time. Get on the road for this. Log in at this time, and this is your day. And then you can make adjustments how you need to.
Yeah, I've used ChatGPT before for like, I'll take the macros that I have and I'll be like, I need a meal plan that hits these exact macros. And
Hmm.
I don't want to eat fish. I don't want to eat this. I don't like this. And I will tell it the things I don't like or don't respond well to. And
Right.
sometimes it'll spit out like a meal plan that's not exact with macros. And I can be like, I said make it exact. And then it'll come back.
Yeah.
Exact, and I'm like, "Oh," but then I'm like, "Oh, can you actually use the brand?" Like, for example, yogurt, I'll be like, "Can you use the brand Chobani or can you use the brand
Hmm.
Too Good?" And it'll make those adjustments, and, I think it can be a really helpful thing because when I've had very busy weeks and I get a new macro adjustment, I'm like, "Okay, don't wanna change up my food too much, but also, like, this is a difference in macros." So, I think ChatGPT is actually, like, so helpful for people who are especially just getting started as well, like, "What kinda swaps can I do for this?" Or, "How much chicken equal protein equals this much in fish?" And you can really use
Mm.
it to help you with that.
Right. No, that's so very helpful. And for me, I know that it's available because my one of my friends that works out with me, she's gonna do fit model. Jessica, she was like, "Oh, I just type in my macros." I'm like, "Well, give me this." I'm like, so she'll send me a picture of her cheat, and I'm like, "What? What? You had that? The whole thing? Tell me your whole family was eating this." She's like, "Of course." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're making me so nervous." But she looks great.
Yeah.
She's got to in at the end of May as well. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yes, I'm excited. She's like, "Ah, I don't know if I should do this. I love bikini," but she has pushed the boundaries and shown me, hey, you could do this with ChatGPT with your macros. I'm like, what? I didn't even
Right?
think about it. I'm like, oh,
Like, make me a
I just need to
dessert.
do my grocery list. I'm like, I didn't think about macros.
Yes, it's so amazing, and, like, you can even tell it to, like, "Oh, I this is my normal meal, but I'm kinda feeling like something more in this flavor profile," and it'll switch it for you, or it'll make so and I'm like
Yeah.
or if you bulk like, I bulk prep food, like, I'll do all my chicken, I bulk prep it, and it's always like, right now, I get on kicks with
Right.
food, so, like,
Hmm.
it'll always be, like, this certain thing, and then if I have, like, a carb source or I have, like, a fat source that I've prepped ahead of time, normally fats I don't, but, like, carbs and proteins I do, then you don't have to prep, like, rice and potatoes and you can just say, "Okay, I prepped sweet potatoes and chicken, but I want to mix it up. How would you do that?" And it'll give you, like,
Right.
different ideas so you're not tired of it.
Yeah. No, and that's so smart. And I needed like actually I'm gonna do that this prep. So, and
That's
that's
awesome.
what my new goal. So next time we talk, I will definitely be like, listen, this
We
is
do
this is
I love it. Why do you wanna, switch to macros or, like, learn macros?
because everyone always, I mean, I hear it with everybody in, bodybuilding and in the gym. I'm like, what are your macros? I'm like, oh, I don't do those. I mean, because some coaches will say you can either do macros or I can give you a meal plan. Just give me a meal plan. I don't have an issue with eating the same thing over again. I guess that's just my ritual or my habit. I can eat the same meal over and over again. And sometimes if I get a cheat, then I'm like, that's me switching it up. I really don't need to change it because I have such a routine with work and everything else. The easiest thing is that's already made. Chicken and rice. You have your vegetables. I call it a day.
Mhm, yeah. Well, I think
So,
it'll be cool to see, like, or hear about how you contrast those experiences,
mhm.
with macros versus meal plans. Because I used to do meal plans, and then I found macros actually gave me more, like, consistent data, but also I still eat the same thing all the time. I just,
Yeah,
like, can switch it up a little bit,
yeah,
but I'm really curious for you, like, if growing up as a military brat, like, contributes to your desire for structure and routine? Like, were you raised that way?
Yes, I was. I was
Mhm.
raised on a routine, and I'm ADHD, so I was kind of that hyper kid and needed to stay busy.
Yeah.
So my parents signed me up for any sport that they can sign me up for, and I didn't have a lot of downtime. I didn't have unless it was on the weekend, and normally I was gone. I took my bike, went through fields to go feed horses and do all sorts of stuff and go look at cows and just explore. That was what you can do in the 90s. So now I'm like, no, you are not
Mhm.
leaving the backyard, the front yard. No. I would literally go missing
Great.
and know I have a watch, got to go back to the house.
Same. Yes, I remember that.
um,
Like, literally, it was just be back before the sun goes down.
the street light, be back on
Exactly.
this street. I better
Yeah.
see you walking down somewhere. So, and that's how like I was playing soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was 5, cheerleading, competition cheerleading, a semi-pro cheerleader, and I just was always going, running track, cross country, everything under the sun. And I played basketball for like a second, but I was like, yeah, this isn't it for me.
What
Mm-mm.
made you go to bodybuilding after all of those more team-based sports?
Bodybuilding. So trying to understand after I got married, my ex-husband was always at the gym, spending so much time, and he just had his own thing going on. But I'm like, why are you in there so long? What is it? What is it? Like, what is it? So I'm like, okay, so in 2011, I was trying to figure out like, so should I be working out and trying to hit every body or every muscle at one time? So I'm like,
Mhm.
is it taking 3 hours to actually do those things?
Yeah.
So I reached out. I found on Instagram Sarah James or just Sarah Brown.
Okay.
She was a pro, and her husband, I saw her physique. I'm like, wow, she looks amazing. And I reached out to her. She sent me her husband, and I thought it was her coach. She was like, oh, this is my coach. And then I found out that they're married. And so Casey Brown is in Wilmington, North Carolina. And that was my first coach that I actually reached out to. There was another person before them, and they did not set me up for it. It was horrible. So researching coaches and trying to find the right match is very important, which I would tell anybody. Just yes, they might have a big team or they might not have a big team, but do your research on who you're reaching out to before you're paying them. Kind of get a feel of what you're doing, and it's okay to ask other people questions like, "Hey, I see that you're with this person. Um, what do you think, or how's the structure?" So, doing research on a lot of stuff is a good thing to do prior to actually signing up and just kind of like losing out on your money because some people won't give it back.
For sure.
Um,
And probably even talk to people who used to work with that coach and who
mhm,
switched. Sometimes it's good to get an understanding of why they left.
right. And I was with Casey for 6 years. I just made a switch 7 years. I just made a switch in 2022, 2023, 4.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So, and I had went to another coach after him and another coach, and it didn't work out. And I'm like, this isn't working for me. So now I'm with Shane Hughley, and they're awesome. Um, and you just have to, and that's what I did with other people. I reached out to people that was on the team, and I'm like, hey, like I met you at this show. How do you like your coach? And is it a good fit? They're like, oh yeah, it's good. Or he might not be for you, but give it a shot. So definitely that's what I would suggest. And that's how I came with my new coach, and that's where I went pro. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Well, let's actually talk about your road to pro because you had some ups and downs along the way. Are there any
Mhm.
like I feel like every story in a competitor's journey is noteworthy, but is there any noteworthy story that really stands out to you that you think would benefit listeners to hear so they could be encouraged to keep going despite coming up against challenges?
Um, Listening to your body is very important. And knowing when you need to actually take a break. Because I did hear so many people before I went pro. I did so many shows. I did the Arnold's. I did Olympia before then. I was in the Bahamas the year before. So I making sure to get in front of so many judges and that they remember you and you stand out. So my feedback was just, hey, just tighten up just a little bit more. That was getting the feedback from the judges is important.
Mhm.
It's worth standing in line. I know sometimes it can be long because the show might be really big, but talking to your coach after the show, getting the judges' feedback is very important, and making your decision after that. So once you hear that, talk with your coach, and then you can say, hey, you need to develop a little bit more, or you need to, whatever they're saying. I also, and I tell people, and just a couple days ago, some girls were asking me like, I don't know if I can handle that, and the mental state of hearing someone say that, oh, you're not big enough, or you're too big, or you need to lose a little bit more. It can mess with someone's mind and hurt their feelings. And a lot of people do have body dysmorphia, and they don't know how to handle criticism or just critiques. So for me, I take it with a grain of salt of what somebody says, because as the youngest of my siblings, they beat up on me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're just like a tomboy. You don't know how to do your hair and all this stuff." I got into bodybuilding because that was the chance for me to actually be girly. And I didn't want to be a cheerleader. I actually signed up as a prank. And so
And then ended up going like pro.
yes, I signed up as a prank because I was like, I'm not girly. I don't want to wear a skirt. I can't cheer. I hated cheering, but I like to tumble. I love to do the flips and everything. And I could do that, but I did not want to be, I wasn't girly. So getting into this, I'm like, okay, I can tap into doing that stuff. And I did pageants too. So it just gave me an opportunity. Right. I know. I did that a couple of times, but I did it as a joke. I'm like, I can do this. Miss Congeniality. I'm like, that was me.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Such
so just like a sweatshirt, baggy pants, or just, and then whenever I do put on a dress, they're like, what?
a she.
My coach didn't even recognize me after I got my makeup done and I actually did my hair. I'm like, hey, he was like, oh, excuse me. He moved out the way. I'm like, what are you doing? It's me. He was like, I was like, it's a magic trick. I know. I know.
I love it. That's awesome. I actually, after my most recent show, I don't wear makeup ever, and my
Mm.
husband has never seen me in makeup. And after my most like not even at our wedding, I we eloped, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right?
And I
That's so
I
funny.
walked into the hotel room, and he was like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "You hate it." And he's like, "No, no, it's just different. I'm not used to seeing you like this." And I was like, "You hate it." And he was like, "No, like literally you just don't look like you. Like I don't even know." He's like, "It's crazy." So it's so true. I feel like show day for so many of us is like a major transformation.
It is. And I will look like a bag. I carry so many bags. In my car, I have like an extra pair of shoes. I have a million bags when I walk into the gym. I've turned it down a little bit
Uh-huh.
because that's unnecessary for me to carry a lunch bag and all that stuff. Just finish it in the car and just carry one. So, but it is a huge transformation, and you get that, and you see people, you see them like, okay, I feel good. I feel good about myself at this point on show day. At this point, the judges don't have a choice. You're gonna see me. I don't care if I'm not where I really want to be, but I'm gonna make it the best.
Hmm.
And that's how I walk on stage. I'm like, I'm making, whether something might be lacking or in my head, I'm doubting myself. I'm getting on the stage. I'm gonna show you what I got. So It just turning it on.
Is that something you teach your posing clients too?
Hmm. I'm like, show day, you go out there and have fun. Show them exactly what you got. Act like you're the baddest bitch on the stage. Act like you have to be so confident and have fun. They can tell. Just like when you're on the phone and you're smiling, people can hear you smile and enjoying your job. It's
Mm.
just like that with work. Yeah, I get some people could be nervous, but just go out there and have fun. It's like you're in the mirror. Show yourself. You got this. It's like when a performer is on stage, they've got to turn on a switch. They might not actually want to be up there, but they have to flip that switch and you go out there and do your best. So,
That's right. And you know what? That time is like this big in the grand scheme of your entire journey. So why not like
right.
put it all out there? It's the time, it's the only time. And plus you put hours and hours and energy into this prep. Like step on stage, smile, enjoy
Yeah.
it, show all of that hard work because unfortunately or fortunately, the judges, they don't know all the hard work, they don't know the tears, they don't know the life that went behind that, but you
Mhm.
can carry yourself in a way that demonstrates the character that bodybuilding's built in you.
Absolutely. It's just like standing in a line for an amusement ride. You have 30 seconds. You stood in this line for an hour. This is your prep. That
Mhm.
line is your prep. As soon as you get on that ride, and then whenever you're going down in that highest point, you're right there. As soon as you drop, that's when they take a picture of you, and your hair is just like, but you got this big old smile. You get up there and you actually did it. So
Wow,
it's
I
15
love that.
seconds, 10 seconds. You get out there, do your routine, walk off, and then you're good. I have my inhaler right off the other side of the stage because I'm like,
Do you really?
the last when I went pro, I had the guy hold my inhaler on the other side, and I was like, so I got off stage and was like, I was sweating, and I was
From
just like,
posing and comparisons or what?
yes, it
Yeah.
was the comparisons, and I've never had that much back and forth. I was on the far left of the stage, and then
Mhm.
when they moved me to the center, I didn't realize it. I do black out on stage. I don't remember anything. I don't know how many
Mhm.
people are there with me.
Yeah.
And I could be talking to you in line. I completely forget. I'm like, were you with me on stage? Okay,
Oh, for
okay, cool.
sure. Yeah.
But I don't even remember. But when I'm on the stage, I'm like, it's a tunnel. It's just me and the judges, and that's all I can focus on. Sometimes I can see my coach, sometimes I don't. But it's just like I zone out and I'm just boom, 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 doing it. And it's really amazing. And I love that part. That is my favorite part is being on stage and they're like, did you see this person? No, I didn't. I don't remember. So did I turn? Did I hit everything? Yep. Okay, cool.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So I don't care.
Yeah, you're like, well, shoot, at least I'm there. When I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology and went on to earn my clinical mental health counseling degree and even become a national certified counselor, I knew I wanted to bridge the gap between competitors and mental health professionals. Too often, athletes are told that they can't compete and have a healthy relationship with food or their body, and I absolutely disagree with that. I have helped thousands of women globally to build more than just a body by combining psychology, personal development, mindfulness, and my signature peace through growth process. If you are struggling with the post-show blues, or you're struggling with adherence to your prep, or any aspect of your relationship with food, your body image, or overall commitment to your goals, I have tons of resources available for you over at www.celestial.fit. Things like a free food relationship coaching series, free post-show blues coaching series, a full competitor card deck with statements to use for affirmations, journal prompts to go through, and even action and behavior changes that you can implement right away. I really believe that by prioritizing the inner work and developing a healthy mindset, competitors can have a more fulfilling journey. And I know the mental side of this sport is really key to establishing longevity, ending the yo-yoing from show to show, and really establishing goals that span well beyond the stage. If you're looking for that support, head over to www.celestial.fit, where you can find tons of free resources or even apply to work with me. Now, when they told you you got moved to the center and you were like being worked in the center, at that point, did you go, oh my gosh, I'm going to get my pro card?
No, I honestly, because I've done another show and I was center, but I actually came in second place. So the girl that was next to it, I got second, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that. So it is what it is, and I'm happy for everyone. I do see people's face when they don't get the placement that they wanted, and if they're in second or third call outs, you see girls leave. They won't come to the final show, and I'm like,
Uh-uh.
they choose to do that. That's on them. I feel like this not a good. It's not a good look. At
No, I
least
agree.
for me, it's not a good look. So, I mean, I've been in second and third call outs before, and sometimes I make my suits. The last couple of ones I got from Toxic, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go change and put another suit on. I'm gonna see what I look like with both these suits. So I'm like, hey,
Right.
so I test out things, and my coaches were like, please stop doing that. I'm like, I just wanted to see what I looked like with this makeup
Yeah.
and this hair. So I'll switch things up, but I definitely I don't until they call my number and say, and the winner this is, I'm like, what? Is
Yeah.
someone there? Is this a joke? I forgot I
Yeah.
was up there.
You don't have any expectations anymore. It sounds like after, especially after that, like so close that,
Yeah. I leave it up to God and them and the judges. I'm like, it's the judges' call completely. It's not really of, oh, I feel good. I feel like a winner when I'm on stage, no matter what. I just go out there and try to do my best. And it's just got you if you're going to be the judges taste. If they like you, that's what they're gonna go for. And it could be changed. It can change the next day or the next show. Like, oh, well, they must like this type of physique. And if you have developed, if you've changed, if you worked hard, they they kind of know what they want to see, and they you do see that in other shows. So there's not an actual for me, I don't see there are some physiques that you're like, okay, those are top notch, but then you don't see them, getting first. So you just have to figure that out.
yeah, and sometimes it's really just like a matter of a few tweaks that can make the
Mhm.
difference, where just because you don't get the placing you want doesn't mean you can't come back to another show and deliver on what they're looking for. Now, you eventually, obviously, you won your pro card and then you competed as a pro and you placed fourth at your first pro show, which is awesome. So,
Yeah.
what was that like for you to go from this road to pro to then placing in the top 5 at your first pro show?
It was really surreal. And I told my coach, I was like, hey, like our first show was at Masters in Pittsburgh. So I did that show and got second place, and or maybe it was I'm not sure which one. I did Masters, and he was like, "Hey, you we can take this, tweak it, and go to another show in a couple weeks, and then you can let's see if you want to do another pro show. If you want to do the pro show, we'll see if
Mhm.
you get there." So when I did the pro show, I was like, I want it to be local. I just want to see how it is. My first one before I actually start traveling, and maybe I'll do something out of the country. I like to travel out of the country, and these are my little vacations. So for me to go from that show and then going to this one, I'm like, did this just happen? Like I'm okay with being up here with Olympians. Like it was amazing. And everybody was super cool. I was taken back by it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. You guys are so cool.
Oh, I love that. And it was local, so that's also
Yeah.
really special.
An hour away, my kids came, my sister, like my friend Jessica and her son, they came to support, and a lot of the girls from the gym.
Mm.
And I had another friend that was competing as well. She works at the gym as well, and I wanted to go and support her. And I didn't know I was going to be doing that show. So when I told her, I was like, I'm going to do the show with you. So it was a lot of fun.
That sounds so awesome. And obviously, I think it takes a lot of grit and determination to
Mhm.
continue competing. Like you had referenced earlier, there's going to be times where you're told feedback or critiques, and you have to be prepared to manage it. So I'm hoping you could share what you've done to manage your mental health along the way
Yeah.
and like what you do on a daily basis to support that.
So I'm a huge advocate of going to therapy. It is just getting things off your mind to kind of like, hey, with your daily life, and you're also competing. Yes, there are going to be people who are going to say, hey, I'm struggling because my calories are low. I'm not getting carbs and stuff. Sometimes that does mess with you and you just don't feel like doing anything. You're tired, you're exhausted. Getting enough sleep is very important. I am horrible at that right now because the time changed. Because I was ahead 6 hours coming back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
So I was up late. But for the mental health aspect is knowing yourself, knowing your body, knowing when, hey, you need to have a rest day and communicate that with your coach as well. I also go into therapy, making my kids do, therapy as well, because they needed something for our divorce. I want them to be able to talk to people and feel comfortable and so they are heard. Being heard
Mhm.
is something I really do try to listen to people. I have to be able to voice my opinion somewhere. But my mental state is making sure that I'm good. I make, little drinks, concoctions. I have like calm down, I take valerian roots or I'll do L-theanine just to relax myself. Valerian root to help me sleep, help my kids sleep. I don't like to do like some stuff that is a little harsh where you're groggy. But this is something
Mhm.
it's just a natural solution where you can just ease things, ease your mind. You don't have to think too much and you're just calm. I don't just being able to utilize your resources and ask people how they're doing during their prep is critical. And you see some people that are struggling, they're like, I didn't have anybody ask me all prep, how did I feel? How am I doing? Um, and saying like, you look good. I'm like, girl, you look good. I don't want to hear you say, "Ah, no, but this and that, and my arms aren't this, and your shoulders are great." I'm like, listen, nope, you better take this compliment. You are doing great. You
Right.
should be proud of yourself. Go home, take a bath, relax, and be just be who you are. You're great. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna get it. Just have some peace, have some grace for yourself. You're gonna get there. My body changes last minute for the shows. So
Mm.
I wish I was that person because you can get stressed and your levels can go up and down. So I try to manage that as much as possible, but be mindful. I know my body and it's just something I'm like, okay, I'm too stressed out. I need to go decompress. So it's something that some people need to really know their self and their bodies so then they can keep a good track of their mental health or journaling.
Yes. No, for
So
sure. And it sounds like for you, it's been about awareness and then proactivity. Like if you start to notice you're needing a break or you need a reset, you take that time, just as you've encouraged others to as well. And speaking to someone on a consistent basis. As a therapist, I appreciate
yeah.
that you're an advocate for that because I think it's
Yes.
so important and it makes such a huge difference. Plus, when you have yourself set up from a nutrition standpoint, biological standpoint, psychological standpoint for maybe more homeostasis, you could say, then you're going to succeed and thrive more in the gym and with every choice that you make. And when you prioritize rest, sleep, recovery, it's only going to benefit you more as well. Did you always do this through your journey, or was there a time in competing where you're like, oh, I need to start prioritizing the mental well-being?
No, I started doing it when I noticed so many competitors that they would end up going pro and they had to take a break. And I asked Shane, like, hey, should I take a break after? Because I see so many people, competitors, they'll go pro and they're just like, they've been going so much and pushing themselves that they're not mentally able to go to another show and push anymore. So I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But he was like, "No, how are you mentally? How are you physically? Your body's right there." He was like, "Do you have enough to make it another couple of weeks?" I was like, "I mean, I guess. I mean, nothing's bothering me. I'm perfectly fine. I already have. I mean, it's I don't have to miss work. I don't have to take off. It's on a Saturday. I can. It's an hour away, so I can definitely make it. What's another 3 weeks of not having
Mhm.
something? I would just be reversing back into my diet. So I'll still be on the diet. So why not?"
Exactly.
And I go to the gym for my mental health, and it's not something I have to do. I just go walk and want to just stay active.
The desire to take care of your body no matter what season you're in or what your goals are, I think helps with that fulfillment and that sustainability year round. Because it's like, well, I
Mhm.
would go to the gym anyways. I would prep my meals anyway. I would take
Right.
care of myself in this way anyway. And that can really help like keep pushing. And there's always like, okay, you know when it's time to go and you know when it's time to pull back. You kind of have to manage that. What are you currently like focusing on as far as the feedback you're delivering on for this prep?
So the one I'm focusing on is staying for me right now is the cardio, just introducing that back in. So it's not as much towards what was it, last year? Yeah. Whenever I did, I was doing a lot of cardio, but that was the one thing I needed to do more of and prioritizing that. So
Hmm.
it was, I can go into the gym. I already have muscle. I am, my weight was 165 a month ago. Um, because I went to the doctor and they weighed me and I was like, holy cow. But that I'm a heavy person. My bone density is very heavy. So I try to not get on a scale and see the numbers because that again is another aspect of some people like, well, my number is not this low. I need to be at this. And I'm like, those are triggers for some people. I'm like, that scale's a lie. That scale's a lie.
Mhm.
Everything's a lie. There was one year I bought 5 scales because I'm like, they're all lying. I'm not this, but I looked really good. I was lean. I did all the cardio. All of my muscles were popping, but I'm a dense person.
Yeah, and the
So
judge isn't gonna be like, "How much you weigh?"
right. Right. So I'm like, okay, so I tell people, I'm like, don't get on that scale. I mean, unless your coach is asking you to, because they want to track the numbers and everything. I'm like, you can, but take it with a grain of salt. But if you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing and drinking all the water, eating all your meals, you're going to be fine. You just have to let them know, like, hey, if we need to tweak things, then yeah, the number is going to drop. But if you're gaining muscle at the same time, it's something that is going to rise.
Yeah, and there's so many variables that contribute to that, and it's a really amazing thing when we can experience those changes because we're proud of what we're doing and we're following through versus it's changing and we're not happy with what we're doing.
Right. And again, it's something that people see like, oh, you are very disciplined. That means you're so lean and you must be like this. I'm like, oh no, no. But it's for this prep, I'm just focusing on my cardio and my muscles are already there. And from the judges, they're always saying like, no, your muscles, you just need to tweak a little bit more, come in tighter, then I don't have much. I want to say since I've been with Shane, my muscles like working out, I'm like, oh no, this is actually pretty light, or this is good. I'm pushing myself.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sore, but it's consistent. But all I have to do is just stay consistent on the treadmill, stairs, whatever I'm doing, just getting everything in on time, and I will be fine. And if I need to push and change the show, I need to do that.
For sure. I love that mentality so much. You can't be so locked into a timeline that then you sacrifice the proper process for yourself and
Right.
also what's actually going to get you where you want to go. Do
Mhm.
you, speaking of timelines, of course, but this prep and shows, do you have shows in mind that you're looking at?
So I wanted to do I think the end of May. What is that? In Reno. I'm possibly doing that, but I'm not really sure which one I'm going to be doing. I don't know because after coming back from Paris, I was like, mm, I we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep you posted on that.
Yeah, well, it'd be exciting to follow your journey, and I'll ask you
Yeah.
soon how people can do that. But before, can you give
Mhm.
us your best advice? So, your best advice for somebody who has never competed before but wants to, and then your best advice for somebody who's on their road to pro.
My best advice is to keep pushing. I mean, know your body, know what you're wanting to do, and make sure you have plenty of resources where you can, you have your community, your family, people you're going to the gym to kind of motivate you, and you'll get there when you're supposed to be there. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everyone wants to be a pro, but having a plan and guidance, the proper guidance to getting there, you'll get there. Trust me. Everybody is so deserving to do and be a pro. Everybody is a pro in my eyes, but I'm like, you guys are just be patient with yourself. Have utilize your sports massages. Get some of these things done. Try it out so your muscles aren't so tight or tense and you don't cause injuries and stuff like that. For myself, I tell people, I'm like, have you done a sports massage? You should get your muscles scraped, get a massage. My friend Steven in Ackworth, he's got his uh massage, him and his wife. They do really good sports massages, but they are amazing. I found them when I was visiting that gym, and I saw this picture up on the wall, and they do sports massages. I'm like, I've never done it, but I always would see pros travel with a sports
Yeah.
massager, and just somebody will like be rubbing their muscles down before the show. I'm like, do I need to do that too? Like, what is it? It's so amazing, and the things that you do see for people,
Hmm.
is that what you have to do? I would recommend it because it's really good for all of. I mean, it's nice. It's like a you're treating yourself.
Yeah,
So you can't have a donut, but I'm gonna go get a massage and make
exactly.
it a part of my routine. So, um, Stacks, that's the gym. Sorry, it's in
Okay.
Stacks Gym in Ackworth, and so yeah, I'll do that. Get my wax, get my body wax and stuff during prep. So I'm like, okay, I feel I'm de-haired. My friend Nia, she's here in Rome, Georgia. She does amazing waxes. She's awesome.
Aw.
And my friend Willie Diaz, he's in Wilmington, North Carolina, or Jacksonville, North Carolina, and he has a him and his fiance. They are personal trainers, and they are amazing. So
Nice.
having a community of people that you can talk to about certain things during your prep, get those people together. If you can visit people or you want to pick their brains, you can definitely, no one's going to be like, oh no, I don't have time for you. Sometimes they don't respond, but build your community. If it's your first show, ask people questions and get a plan and just go out there with your confidence. So that
Love
was a
that.
long explanation of
Advice.
advice.
It was good though. All of it was good advice, and I'm glad that you shared it. So, how can people follow your journey, connect with you, and work with you?
So they can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to build up everything so we can have people can email me. So they can follow me on Instagram. It's Black Betty underscore IFBB Pro. And yeah, you can reach out, watch me. I'm gonna start making more videos on this prep now that I'm back and locked in. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good set of shows with Shane, and I'm excited. I'm debating if I need to do another suit color, or if I'm gonna rock out with the light blue suit. I
I
really
like
loved
the
it.
light. Yeah. It's so good.
Now get some new heels, some new jewelry. My jewelry actually broke the last show, so I was like, I gotta get some new ones. But I've had them for a while.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna be like, okay. I tried to like I have like good juju. I'm like this, I had good placing, so I'm gonna wear these same earrings. I'm gonna wear them till they fall
Uh-huh.
apart. Same
And they did.
shoes. I want to make sure I have everything nice and clean
Love that.
and
Well,
ready.
on the subject, I should at least plug my jewelry sponsor since I don't even think I've done that yet on this show before. So, you guys,
Yeah,
Jewelry by A, you can use code Celeste. And then also, if you're looking for a suit, use code Celeste at Toxic Angels Bikinis. And if you're looking for shoes, use code Celeste for the Shoe Fairy. I
yes,
had to make those plugs. I hope you don't mind.
yes, girl.
This is an opportunity.
Perfect opportunity. No, and those are the like so many companies. They're awesome. You know, the Wolf Pack. They have like their book bags. You can carry those stuff, and they're
Yeah,
TSA approved, so you can get in there and take it on the plane, have your food.
exactly.
But everything is out there for new people to reach out, and they can get discounts, and it's amazing going to the shows and the any of the events.
Yeah.
They'll give you, you could try on this stuff and look at the different suits. So I try to tell people, like, if you haven't been to a show before, if you've never done this, go to a bodybuilding show, and hopefully it's a showcase where you can meet some of the vendors
Mhm.
and look at what you would need, so you can have that in its own bucket. Like, hey, so now I need to get a suit, shoes, see the cost of everything, because before I did my show, my first one, I was like, I'm sorry, how much?
Exactly.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you know this is not it's not a
It's not cheap.
it's not cheap. So that's when I started making my own suits.
Love that.
And I was like, I have to get on stage. I've already been training and dieting. I'm not backing out of it. So I have to find a way to get this done.
That's
So I
amazing.
made my suits, and I'm like, that's wild. That
Yeah, it
is
is.
absolutely
That's so I chose your determination though.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Or it's just OCD. I'm like, oh no, I'm not letting it go. So this is happening. You are locked in.
It's time. Oh, I love that. Well, I will share your link in the show notes page, you guys. That's always on celestial.fit/podcast. If you're listening right away, it'll be at the top of the page. If you're listening in the future, scroll down to the category section, which is alphabetized. Not only will you see how to connect with us, but you're also going to see a full summary of the episode, a bulleted list of the topics we covered, as well as episode timestamps so you can go back, listen to your favorite part, share with your friends, your family, your teammates, let them know what resonated with you. And of course, tag us. Let us know what you thought or reach out personally. It goes a long way for the show, but even further for the athletes who come on and share their story and insights with us. So, all of that being said, I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you're in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.